If you've ever been to a Turkish bakery, you'll know that they make the most phenomenal pastries. And that's what I'm going to be making. I'm going to be making a boat-shaped pastry. Sounds very strange, but they're fantastic for a little canapé or a snack. Now, the boat shape is made with Fillo pastry, and Fillo pastry is used quite a lot in Turkish cuisine. I'm going to be making a basic filling. I mean, you could use whatever you like. You could use some leftover minced meat for this, but I'm going to keep it simple with some cheese. So classic feta, and you can see what I'm doing here is just crumbling this up. Once this has been crumbled up, you can add some more cheese. I'm adding some cheddar, so a good handful of freshly grated cheddar into the feta. And you need a binding agent, a little bit of glue. So I love the addition of creme fraiche. You could also use sour cream. This is also going to give it a really nice tangy flavour. 3 generous tablespoons, and for some extra zing, a little bit of lemon zest. And at this stage, you can add some different spices and different types of herbs. My herb of choice is dill. Dill and feta, we know that they work so well together. So just give it a good wash and finely chop the dill. Dill can sometimes be overpowering, so you just want a small amount, about 3 sprigs. And then in with our cheese. A very small pinch of salt, not too much salt because the cheese is already salty, in particular the feta. And I am going to add a good crack of pepper. Now, I'm not adding any egg to this at all. The creme fraiche is enough. And don't forget, when the cheese starts to melt in the oven, it'll bind the whole thing together. Just the back of the spoon, just mix it all up together and ensure all the herbs are evenly distributed, and that's all there is to this very simple dish. Now for the fun part, we're going to make the boat-shaped canapé. With Fillo pastry, we need to work with 1 piece of Fillo pastry at a time. And for the rest of the Fillo pastry, we're just going to cover it with a damp cloth so it doesn't dry out and break up. If it does break up, we won't be able to mould it into a boat shape. So also a little bit of melted butter, just brush long strokes generously with the butter. The butter is not only going to help make these really crunchy and golden brown, but it's also going to soften the Fillo pastry so they do shape nicely. Now with a sharp knife, I'm going to cut this piece of Fillo pastry on a diagonal, so straight across, and I'll just separate them. The long end facing you, we're going to just roll it up into a cigar shape. And we want to roll it about 3/4 of the way up. And now what we do is just mould it so we've got the base here, and you can be a little bit rough with this because don't forget, when you are a little bit rough with Fillo pastry, it becomes extra crunchy. And then just to fasten it, we're just going to fold that little triangle corner, and then with your hands you can mould it into a boat shape. You can imagine being at a party and serving these around to your guests. Crunchy, cheesy, these are going to be absolutely delightful. Now what I do is just fill it with a small amount of our mixture, not too much because it's supposed to be a small portion. Spread it out, and then I'm going to butter the sides just with a little bit of extra butter, and then I'm going to place these onto a prepared tray just with a little bit of baking paper. Now I'm just putting the finishing touches on these cute little boats with some black sesame seeds, and then we can bake it at 180 degrees for 25 minutes. I'm really happy with the results of these Turkish cheese boats. They're crunchy on the outside, perfectly shaped, and the cheese has melted nicely, and they're not too big, so there's always room for the next course, entree, main, and dessert, of course.